Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And the 1/4 inch hex is probably one of the more ubiquitous and universal platforms and tools. There's so many different options and adapters. I've got tons of power tools that drive these things, various configurations. But there are also a lot of adapters or things other than just standard 1/4 inch bit holders. And I thought I'd go through a few of those today. And if you've got others, let me know, because I'm always on the lookout for different kinds of 1/4 inch plug-ins. Start with this guy, 1/4 inch on one end. This goes to a 4mm micro bit adapter on this end. And here's a 4mm micro bit to 1/4 inch socket. Here is a 1/4 inch hex to a 4-tooth chuck. So I can use all kinds of tiny things in it. And let's say I had some of those little Klein micro bits that are a little off, 3mm or whatever they are. I could probably easily use them in this 1/4 inch chuck, which is a little bit larger. Now this is a 3-tooth chuck. And one thing I have read is that the origin of the 6-sided or hex 1/4 inch driver came out of these 3-tooth chucks, where it would actually fit in and center up quite nicely, because the 3 teeth would grab the 3 of the 6 sides. And so this is where the hex came from, instead of 8 or 3 or 4 or some other number. So it might have started from some of the early adapters before we actually got to just the standard hex bit adapters. There are all kinds of extensions, and some extensions have these tubes on them. I love those. Those, like if you grab I'll throw a bit on this. If you're doing anything that uses screws, especially these deck screws, is you can drop these on, slide the collar up, and then this stabilizes the screw, so there's less chance you're gonna, it's gonna slip or turn or fall or bend, or cut your hand, cut your fingers if you're trying. And this one's got these measurements on it, which is interesting. But anyway, others, there are locking bit holders, and there are just the standard magnetic bit holders. I find one of those. Here's one, the larger one, I guess, with the same shaft. But anyway, use them for different things. Obviously, if you're trying to get something into a small area, the locking ones have a larger collar, but they also don't allow the bit to pop out when if it gets stuck in the fastener. You pull the whole thing out, as long as you've got a lock on this end. Otherwise, this whole thing will stay locked into the fastener. So if you just attach something, let me throw it on one of these. If I just did that, I might end up losing the whole thing into the fastener. But anyway, so I love the different lengths. In fact, my favorites are actually generally the smallest. I like a small one here with a very powerful magnet. And there's a handful of different companies that seem to make really good tiny ones. Bosch is one company, but those are super handy. Others, well, here's a reversible, or not reversible, interchangeable one. So this is something that I can use as a 1/4 inch bit. Let me grab another bit out of here. So I could drop a 1/4 inch, but then I can also pop it out and drive a 1/4 inch square. And this is made by 711L. It was actually only about $10. I'll put a link if I can find it in the description. But it's a solid little tool for being able to have both. And again, your 1/4 inch there. Milwaukee makes some excellent locking adapters. Now with locking adapters, there are a couple of choices. Some, like this one, you notice the Milwaukee adapter will lock in the up position or in the unlocked position, and then immediately lock when you put a bit in. And then there are locking for these kinds of bits, and then there are locks for kind of the quick lock. And depending on what you want, you may want something that does both, and that's why I love these Milwaukees over a few of the others. There's a Diablo here. So the Diablo, I really can't just drop this in. I have to release it. Then it holds it just fine. And as soon as I take it out, it goes back to that neutral position, or that locked position, I guess. So I actually prefer the Milwaukee in that case. Here's another, you've seen this Malco. This has both 15 or 5/16, excuse me, and 1/4 inch. You can pop this thing off and turn it over. It's got a magnet in it for magnetic filings and stuff, so it doesn't gum up the works too bad. But anyway, it's a really neat little system. Holds the bit there on the 1/4 inch if you want that as well. Can't pull that off. I need a pry bar to do that. But that's a solid one. I did a video on that. Vera makes a ton of different ones. They've got a great little system here. Again, that one also, like the Milwaukee, pops up and holds it. And they've got lots of different ones. Impact rated ones are another issue if you want that. Of course, we can drive sockets. Here's an absurd one. This is a 35mm socket being driven by a 1/4 inch hex adapter onto a wobble extension, or a wobble adapter here for 1/2 inch. So there's no real limit to what these things can do. Of course, you can buy all kinds of bits and sets. That's a great option for having a whole bunch of them rather than individual. Length of them is another option here. And I'm often buying bits in different lengths. Now, obviously, I could use an adapter. Well, why do I get the bit in a longer length when I could just get an adapter and use any bit in it? Well, look at that profile. These are also impact rated bits. These are the Milwaukee Shockwaves, but they're just so nice, especially in my my power tools, to be able to grab different ones. And you almost need one this size. Let me grab it here. This is my probably my favorite Milwaukee tool. This is the M18 Surge, but I always have one of these in it, and that allows you to clear the battery so it sticks out that far, so you don't drive the battery if you're trying to go straight into a wall or something. But there are all kinds of other options. And then, speaking of extensions, there are really long ones. I always have some of these handy, and it's amazing how often they come into play. Sometimes I don't need the extension. I mean, I don't need the reach, but it's so much easier to operate the tool, say in the environment I'm trying to work in, so I can literally drop this thing in, and then I can hold this thing for guiding it and then operate it. So I really like the Diablo one because of the locking mechanism on the front end. Got different sizes, and sometimes you can get these in kits. Here's another one. And then Milwaukee makes impact ones as well. Just can't have enough of those. Of course, you can buy bit drivers. Here's, I've got Diablo, I've got Snap-on, I've got Milwaukee. They're all good, and they're just like sockets, except very fast to drop the 1/4 inch bits on. Let's see, I've got a whole set of various non-Phillips or standard, using Torx. Here's some diamond Torx as well, diamond coated Torx from Vera, and they're just incredible, especially if you're working on, like I do, a lot, upper end bicycles. Just, you want a nice solid fit. I don't usually use them with power tools with bikes. With inexpensive stuff, I often do. Another thing, where'd it go, is the should show you that one. Here's another inexpensive little I think this is a Weehaw 1/4 inch to micro 4mm micro bit, and I think this is an iFixit bit that's in there. But also there are, if I can find it here, there are different kinds of drill bits that you can get, obviously. I don't know where it went, but anyway, the drill bits, I've got drill and tap bits for these things as well. I've been playing with this. If you got an idea what to do, I'm thinking, should I hook it up and see which one's stronger, or is there, some unusual thing I can do if I connect a couple of these? I don't know. That's why I haven't gotten to it. People are asking about it. Anyway, I've got these right angle adapters as well for the 1/4 inch hex. Silky smooth, good solid design. I've never broken one of these. You can buy real expensive ones, but both Milwaukees and DeWalt's are good. I think this one's impact rated. I don't know about the DeWalt. Anyway, if you've got some ideas about these things, let me know, because I'm always looking for different ones. And I'm always losing them too. As you can see, I have a drill and tap bit here somewhere. And then, of course, you got to have all of the appropriate storage for these things as well. Finding all kinds of cool ways to keep them handy, keep them organized. If you've got suggestions there beyond the stuff I usually talk about, let me know. Anyway, with that, Doc out.